take over in a bit. So just to let you know a bit about the lottery. So the National Lottery Community Fund, if you didn't know already, is the largest funder of children and youth activity across the UK. We give out over £200 million to young people activity and through projects and grassroots organisations that we fund. We recruited, and our strategy is very much about putting people in the lead. So as we have thriving communities. So that was kind of the aim of recruiting a head of youth voice to bring young people to the centre and core of our business to ensure that the youth voice is present throughout our grant making. So my first role when I came in autumn last year was to recruit these incredible people, because I am not young, sadly, anymore. And these guys are a lot more the experts than I ever will be, coming from the communities that we serve. So that is very much what they're here to do. They've been working with me since March. Throughout lockdown, bless them, they've been meeting weekly because they wanted to. I didn't force them. They're just an incredible bunch of really proactive young people. Already what they've helped us to do internally is things like develop materials for staff and sessions like this to educate and inform staff, both internally but also other funders. So as the ripple effect of these guys' voices is incredible, as you will see today. And why do we do it at the National Lottery? We, a community fund, we do it because we want to become better grant makers. We want to fund better quality projects, and we can only do that if we're listening to our communities, and our communities are represented by these incredible young people here today. So I always joke that I have, well, not even joke, but I always say I have the best job in the world, and hopefully after today you will agree. So I am going to shut up now, but I will be coming back to take your questions at the end. Really lovely to have you all. So thank you so much for spending a hot day with us. And over to the video. Fingers crossed. We're trying a lot of new technological things today. So we have a video, and then we'll have Ashley. I think you're muted, Scott. We'll try it one more time, and then if not, we can play it at the end. Oh, it's not working. We knew it. We did trial this yesterday. Anyway, you've seen their lovely faces, and the idea is that youth voices now. And we're going to kick off with the speeches from each of the young people, and then they're going to give you some top tips on why youth voice is important. So we'll start off with Ashley. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashley. I'm 18 years old and I live in Bristol. I locally volunteer within the organisation Youth Moves as a member of staff in Youth Opinions. Youth Opinions is a youth voice group that ensures that young people in the South Bristol communities are heard by national, statewide and local decision makers. I personally feel as if I hadn't trusted my mentor as much as I did and put as much into it as I did, I feel I wouldn't have got as much out of it. My confidence grew, and I was lucky enough to experience so many different opportunities that allowed me to grow as a person to make me who I am today, such as speaking at different events, such as the Meryl Hustings event, attending the Rotary Youth Leadership Award and the National Citizens Award service. Young people are my passion, and youth voice is important to me because young people are the future, and with the right guidance, encouragement and empowerment from the older generations, we can be the best versions of ourselves to make our future the best it can be. One way to support young people is to give them a platform to voice their opinions and create a community. Young People in the Lead is giving us that platform. What impact has Youth Voice had on me is that Youth Voice has led me down a pathway that allows me to meet and form valued relationships with people from all walks of life, with perspectives and stories much different to mine. This allows the opportunity to be educated, develop, and makes you more aware and open-minded. I joined Young People in the Lead as it is an amazing opportunity to get yourself out there, develop your skills, such as presenting and public speaking. One way to support young people is to give them a platform and support to voice their opinions and create a community. Young People in Lead do this for us. Okay.
Oh, next we have Kane. Kane, you're on mute, I think.
Sorry guys, still early. But hello guys, I'm Kane. I'm from West London. I was born and raised in South East London. My childhood and teenagehood was solely based around Penge and Crystal Palace. Throughout my journey growing up, I went through obstacles and hurdles, which led me in places I don't regret, but I didn't expect them. I've come from that lifestyle of gangs, I admit. Throughout my journey, I've also met leaders who's impacted my life on the positive side, from being kicked out of schools and left in a pupil referral unit to making it back into mainstream school, from just chilling in the local area and being known by police and always been harassed by police, to getting support from organizations that's funded by police, such as the London Gang Exit. That led me to having to leave my old area. During my transformation, I've adapted this passion to work with young people. I wanted to work with disadvantaged young people coming from a similar background to help shed the light on their life and give them real insight and encouragement from someone they can relate to, which is myself. I've set up my own little enterprise, which is a record label, which I set up independently. I manage young artists, coming from the same background as me as we speak, and I understand them, hence why I help them. I believe talent can be a game changer in today's society for young people, as a lot of young people are doing music and getting into performing arts. I joined the Young People in Lead program, as it's something I always want to be a part of. It reminds me every day why young people are extremely important and shouldn't be overlooked. It keeps my passion strong, builds my confidence, and allows me to meet amazing, like-minded people, as you can see on the call. Being involved in Youth Voice has changed me a lot. It has adapted my passion again, has made me become a dedicated leader, working with the young musicians I work with. It makes me plan a lot of projects focused on young people to have opportunities and develop communities they live in. It has also made me dedicated, and I get to understand and see many backgrounds to why people may be the way they are, and understand their perspective and what really matters to them growing up. Lastly, being involved and sitting with people who like-minded boosts my confidence and enables me to have more encouragement of leading. Every day, people I sit with on the Young People in the Lead program, they remind me every day, young people matter. I'm Kane. God bless.
Hello, I'm Daniel. I'm from the Northwest, Leyland. The charity I support is called Sleep, which is a homeless charity for young people 18 to 24. The reason I support them is because at the age of 14, I became street homeless because of my home situation. And then for 2 years, I then found out, my grandma found out and then took me in. And at the age of 17, I then moved on to Sleep, which helped me grow to the person I am today. Why I became a young person lead, it started out wanting to learn a new skill when I applied, not knowing the opportunities and the potential that it offers. But my answer is different now. I became a young person lead is to make the difference that I can. Youth Voice is important to me because it could be the difference of success, giving the young person a purpose, a voice that gives them confidence to speak up of their ideas and give input from a different perspective that a young person has. As I said, Sleep is a homeless charity. I sit down with managers and trustees and give my opinions and views and decisions of what they're making because they directly impact young people. The ideas and advice doesn't get shut down, they get listened to, and if the ideas don't work, they want to know more how it would impact or how it would work, and we do an action plan to help the young people. I aim to change homelessness abusing homelessness. As of 2016 to 2017, there were 65,000 young people homeless. 10,500 of them were directly in London, and 2018 to 2019, there was 110,000 young people homeless. The question, are we going to put them back there?
Hello everyone, my name is Jemima. I live in Dagenham, which is like East London, but I used to live in Northwest England, which is where Dan's from. And I work with the Wildlife Trust, so I'm kind of like the hippy dippy one, the environmental one of the group. I worked with them on a project called My Place, which is basically helping young people that are unemployed or that have mental health issues to gain the confidence to regain positive attributes in their life and to get them back to places that they want to be, so just a much healthier place. Why I joined Young People in the Lead was because I really wanted to make an impactful change and create opportunities for other young people like the ones that were given to me when I was a participant on quite a few programs. I think youth voice is really important because it brings people together. I think the connection that it creates between organisations, between funders, between adults and young people, I think that's a really inspiring connection, and I really enjoy it. And I think that the different kind of new perspectives that you gain from youth voice, and I've gained from even being on the YPL from my team members, has been so encouraging and so inspiring to see. So as I said, in my past roles, I used my voice to ensure that we were all kind of heard. So I'm probably the loudest one and I talk a lot, but I use my voice to, in my past roles, I use my voice to encourage people, but to also talk to people. So I would be the one that would go into the boardroom and talk to the trustees, or I would be the one that would speak up at the national lobbies and try and get the media to pay attention and things like that, and just try and do that. My aim is to kind of try and get more national funders to involve young people in their processes and to have more to get environmental responsibility more to the forefront of people's mind. With YPL, we've learned and achieved so much already, and I know that this is something that a lot of my team members have talked about and will talk about some more. One of the biggest things that I feel that we've achieved so far is the Quality Youth Programme kind of basis. I don't know if you guys, some of you probably have heard about it already, but I'm sure we can send it out to you if you want to see it. We've just kind of really carved and created what would be a quality youth program, what it looks like, and just tried to educate people about that. And that is, for me, that is kind of some of the most impactful stuff I've done in my entire life. So
hi everyone. I'm sorry, Jemima, had you finished? I'm not sure if my computer just... Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Kiana, I'm 22 and I'm from Leeds. I currently work at a local charity called Getaway Girls, which has the aim of raising young women's ambitions. My role as a Vocal Girls Coordinator means that I'm responsible for facilitating the movement to make Leeds the first women-friendly city in the UK. For me, youth voice is important because it enables young people to define their own futures and create the opportunities that they both want and need to make the next steps in their lives. If young people's voices were not heard, both in this team or at Getaway Girls, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to find a mentor, be fast-tracked for interviews, or create a strong network of people who want to support me in my journey of becoming a local councillor. All this was only possible because I was listened to and opportunities were created to help me and help the organisations. One of the changes that I've personally supported has been giving young women and girls the confidence and skills to create their own businesses and capitalise on work experience and employment opportunities. One thing that I'm really proud of is there's one young girl that I was working with. She now has a DJing business and it's doing really, really well. And from that, she's also inspired even more young girls to upskill and try and monetize on their passions and things that they was doing already. As a young person in the lead member, I've already learned various transferable skills which has helped me both in my work and everyday life. This has included effective time management, project management skills, and also team working skills. My ambition for the future whilst on this team is to reinforce the message to everyone, but especially to those in power, that listening to young people is essential for projects and programmes to be successful and have longevity.
Hi everybody, my name's Kimberly, I'm 24 and I'm from Hull. I work on a National Lottery community funded project called Disability, which helps young people with disabilities into sustained employment. Youth Voice is important to me because 4 years ago before I started on a talent match programme, which is a lottery funded project as well, I used to be scared to have an opinion. I thought that my ideas wouldn't be listened to. I'd just embarrass myself. It was just safer to stay silent. But what I didn't realise was joining Talent Match that the project was built around co-production, and I was encouraged to voice my opinions. That's when I realised that my thoughts and ideas was actually valued and that I did have something to say. I said that Youth Voice was development in the video at the start that you unfortunately couldn't see yet, but hopefully will. And that's because I've developed so much within myself, not only my skills and confidence, but I was employed to work on the project. And in just 4 years, I've gone from being a beneficiary, a volunteer, a mentor, and was taken forward to work on the sustainability project, which is disability. And that was all because I was encouraged to have a voice. In my past roles, I've had the chance to raise awareness on challenges that young people face when trying to gain employment. I've helped to change perceptions around employing somebody with a disability. All things, like a lot of things. So I joined the Young People in the Lead because I wanted to play a part in helping to get the right message out by advocating and on behalf of and representing the views of young people. And since joining, I've had so many amazing opportunities. I've had the chance to present to the CEO and Deputy Director of the fund, delivered sessions to the partnership team, been involved in various funding events. And one of the major highlights for me so far, it's only been 6 months, but I've done all of that. And then I was also lucky enough to be chosen to be one of the representatives, the Young People in the Lead representatives for the England Committee, and represent Youth Voice during the committee meetings. So going forward, I'd really like to continue to make a positive difference by influencing change, helping to make decisions that would improve the lives of other young people in the future, but most of all, just encourage them to let their voices be heard, just like I did.
Oh, Lauren, we can't hear you. Do you want to try talking again, Lauren? Oh, no. We'll come back to you, shall we? Yeah. Okay, cool. No worries. Let's go to, is it Rachel next?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm 18 and I've lived in Newham in East London my whole life. This is where I volunteered at Head Start, which is a mental health organisation that works with schools, staff and parents. My journey at Head Start began with a mentorship role, which is where I mentored Year 7s that were transitioning into secondary school and helping them build confidence as they grow. This is where I was encouraged to apply to join the WIPL team. I became a member because I saw the impact Youth Voice was having in my local community, and I wanted to make changes like that on a national scale. White Pill has changed my way of approaching problems and encouraged me to always find unorthodox and creative solutions. Youth voice became really important to me because even though young people are everywhere, we were often set aside in a lot of major decisions, which meant that we always felt like we never had a say. And youth voice is important to me now because I really feel that young people should be able to have a chance to be included in every area in the industry. So as a member of Head Start, we taught young people on modern problems that they don't usually learn in a classroom setting, such as internet safety and identifying toxic and healthy relationships. I will also happen to be on another part. I happen to be on a part of another team that influenced the council into funding 1.4 million into our youth sector. So what I aim to change now are perceptions. I want to help change the perception that young people are not mature enough to make decisions. And I want to help change young people's perceptions that their voices don't matter.
And then we've got Rahina, and then we'll try Lauren again. Oh no. I can hear you a little bit. Try.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you might have to come really close.
Let me try turning my video. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Rahina and I'm 25 years old, also from East London. I have many years experience as a youth worker. I am currently working as a youth quality and impact officer for a charity called Skyway based in Hackney. We are community focused and deliver a wide range of activities and programs in youth clubs. Our youth program aims to empower young people to make positive choices in their future. Why is youth voice important to me? Youth voice is important because decisions and policies made will directly affect us as we inherit the future. Youth voice is important because our experience is unique. You have not walked in our shoes, and the older generation could never retell our stories. We are the experts, so let us tell you the way. Youth voice matters because it helps build a coherent society. My voice is unique, the story belongs to me, and I believe that's what sets me aside from everybody else. In this day and age, society is heavily focused on demonizing youth, how youth are on the streets, or how youth are engaging in criminal activities. But do you ever sit down and think about what led them there? Maybe a rough upbringing or a lack of support? The impact my youth voice has had is looking into deeper roots and starting a journey to rebuild the bumps on the road for young people. At Skyway, we run projects around bespoke theory of change. My voice has helped the funding team at the National Lottery Community Fund redefine the focus of funding needs for the youth. It has helped me and led me to being a part of the England Community Committee for the National Lottery Fund. Being a youth representative at the committee has given me equal seats at the table. It has helped me to understand. It has helped people to understand and learn more about equity, not just equality amongst young people. So why YPIL? I joined YPIL with the hope to get my voice heard and be an advocate for young people. I want to make a difference to the youth. I want to shed light on matters. I want to shed light on matters that have never crossed your mind. YPIL was a great place to start, and Joe made it happen. This has given me a platform to be listened to, not only heard. My voice and knowledge is acted upon. Prior to this, I've been a part of meetings and conferences where it has been a tick box activity, where people have written notes and never got back to us about what was actually done about the matter. But YPIL is different. YPIL holds this transparency, and I'm really here for it. Transparency is key with young people. If you would like us to be part of the process, please keep us informed about everything, including the unsuccessful parts. YPIL has helped me reflect, refuel, and refocus.
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me now. I'm very sorry about that earlier. I'm Lauren, I'm 21 and I'm from London. I'm passionate about youth mental health and well-being. For me, youth voice means hope. Hope for young people can be the difference between having a voice and not. Hope means possibilities and growth. I'm part of the St. Mungo's project, putting down roots for young people. When I joined the project, I was struggling with my mental health and had just come off my 12th section. The workers gave me hope that things would get better, and that hope gave me a voice. I'm currently setting up a social enterprise to give other young people a platform to have a voice, especially young people who might live with mental health conditions and feel powerless. I aim to grow my social enterprise and continue to advocate for youth mental health. Youth Voice has given me the chance to be on panels with Mind, the NHS, alongside the work, the support and opportunities at the National Lottery Community Fund. Young people have been disproportionately affected by COVID. It's important more than ever that support and programmes are in place for us and our families. Mental health goes hand in hand with achievements, progress. And in order to unlock Youth Voice, it is vital that mental health is considered and validated. If I could give you one message to take away, I'd say hope means things can get better. Without hope, there is no Youth Voice.
Amazing. So that was all of their presentations, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. This is where I wish we were in person to give you a massive round of applause. But we're going to go on to the top tips now, which I believe Lauren and Kiana. And just to let everyone know, we have had a technical hitch because the guy that was helping me with it had his internet's down. So bear with me. I'm just about to bring up the top tips and Lauren, you can start introducing.
So you've had us all talk about why Youth Voice is important to us, and we wanted to create something for you to take away, to really put into action about what we're telling you. So we've created our 5 ways to be. This is 5 ways to be when you have Youth Voice involved. And we also have 5 things to provide. So the 5 ways to be, hopefully a slide will come up in a second, but I can carry on if not. So our first one is to be transparent, set clear expectations. Our second one is to be accessible and to provide a safe place. Also to be interactive and have fun, and be together with young people in the design and evaluation of the project. Be diverse and be inclusive. And for myself, I'm on a steering panel with Our Bright Future, which I think Jemima mentioned is a mental health and wildlife sort of charity together, funded by National Lottery. And as part of my role on the steering panel, they really embedded all these 5 Bs. So they told us what the expectations were. They had meetings with us to explain it in a really clear way. They provided a space for our voices to be heard and really validated and listened to what we had to say. We were together as part of the panel. We were just as important as anyone else on the steering group. And it was very diverse and very inclusive as well. And it created a really nice atmosphere for us to really grow and develop as young people.
And next we have Kiana. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. As Laura mentioned, these next 5 things are things that we've recognised from our experiences that need to be provided to both attract and retain young people. I've seen a few questions in the chat, so hopefully this will give answer to those questions. And these things are essential because without young people joining and remaining involved with your organisations and projects, you won't be able to capitalise on all the benefits Youth Voice provides. So number 1, role models. Young people need to be inspired. They need to have the opportunity to connect with people who are either in the industry they want to be in or are just happy to support them with any life goals or goals that they have. As a young person myself, I realised we need to be able to discuss the journeys that other people have taken to understand how they got there and what we can do. But we also need to realise the different paths that can be taken and are available to us. Unfortunately, not a lot of young people get this. So if your project is able to provide this, it definitely will help retain and attract young people. Number 2 is training. For young people, transferable skills are so important, especially if they're not 100% sure what they want to do in the future. So things such as team working skills, communication skills are vital. So by providing training and allowing the young person to upskill, it'll make them more productive, both for yourselves and for their future goals. Number 3, opportunities. Once you attract young people or understand what the young people you attract want, then you can listen to them and see what they want to gain both within the project or in life. So by providing opportunities to help further their goals, the young person is a lot likely to remain engaged. I've had this personally with Getaway Girls. They've always, alongside my work, they've always tried to help me with my career within politics to make sure I'm getting what I want out of the work too. And it literally can be something small like taking lead on a project, making sure that they're in a meeting where there's people that they could connect with. Number 4 is rewards. I think that's quite self-explanatory, like who doesn't like a reward? But just like everyone else, young people want their work to be recognised, as it shows that they're being seen and people care about what they're doing. Because as we previously mentioned, sometimes young people feel like they're not heard or they're just there because we need a young person. So by providing a reward, you're recognising them. And finally, number 5, this kind of links with rewards, but it's also about letting the young person know what they've actually achieved and how they can improve for the future. Feedback for a young person is absolutely invaluable because it just tells them what their next step should be, what to work on, and it can literally take 5 minutes out of your day. So yeah, they're the 5 things that we think projects need to provide based on our personal experiences.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And we now have Kim. Oh,
I think she's on mute.
Oh, Kim, you're on mute.
Sorry. So I think at the start of the event, we was meant to have a housekeeping screen that come up to say what we wanted you to do. So I'll just explain it because I don't think it come up. So if you could head over to www.menti.com using a smartphone or a laptop, anything that's quick and easy to access, and enter the code, the 6-digit code, so 195841. If you could all do that. So I'll just explain while everybody's doing that, I'll explain what we want you to do. So there was a survey published in 2019 that examined the attitudes and perceptions that over 1,000 adults had towards young people. So a statement will show up on screen. So 20% said that young people lack communication skills. So what we would like you to do using Mentimeter is select whether you think that it was a higher or lower percentage of adults that said that. I think we've still got people coming in. Sorry for the silence. Oh, someone just said, can I repeat the question? So yes, the question is, do you think that 20% of adults, so 1,000 adults were surveyed, and 20% said that young people lack communication skills. Do you think that is a correct percentage, or do you think it's higher or lower? I don't know if I explained that well. You vote by going to www.menti.com, just shown on the top of the slide that's been shared, and enter the code that's next to it.
Or you could always put higher and lower in the chat. Right, I reckon that's probably a good representation.
So there is one next question. So out of the 1,000 people surveyed, 60% saw young people as irresponsible. Do you think that's a higher or lower percentage that said that? Right, I can't see it moving much more, so I'm actually just going to tell you the answers. So for the first one, so it was actually nearly 40% of people that were surveyed said that young people lacked communication skills. And the second one was also higher, even though that's shocking, the amount of people, that it could be over 60% that said that that viewed young people as irresponsible. But we wanted to do this activity to raise awareness on the attitudes and perceptions that a lot of adults still have towards young people today. But hopefully you can see from the event that that isn't the case, and we do have good communication skills and we're not irresponsible. A lot of the time people are just put into bubbles and stereotypes because of another person's actions. So we'd like to change these perceptions and hopefully have your help to do so. So one way that we'd like you to help is to make a promise on social media. So preferably Twitter, but if you don't have a Twitter account, then whichever social media that you do use. So what we'd like you to do is think of something that you'll take away today or something that you'd like to change for young people in the future and make a promise on your social media. So for example, write a tweet saying, I promise to encourage young people to voice their opinions, or I promise to involve young people in decision making, something like that, just one thing that you take away. So, and hashtag WhyPillDoneIt or TNL Community Fund. We'll put it in the chat because I think the screen isn't sharing. We did have a thing to share.
We have, but it's not working, sorry.
I will put it in we'll put the hashtags and the tag in the chat so that you've got it there to see. So you can either take some time now while Jemima and Kane, you're going to hear from them, they're going to read a poem, or you can do it after the event today. But we'd really like to hear your promises.
Hello everyone. Okay, this is the last thing, but we've got a poem for you. Kane, are you ready? We're gonna do something creative, guys. We're gonna do something creative for you guys. Okay, fire up, guys. Last bit. Okay. Breaking news. Following the actions of today and tomorrow's leaders, a new coalition has come into power. The youth of today and the organisations that paved a way are sharing the hour.
The things that bind us together more than the things that separate us. We all want to see the world become a better place. And now here we are, standing on the horizon of a new age. Where we go from here, we'll turn the pages of history.
We see that we only have up to go, and even so, youth voice is powerful. It is desirable, and your organisation should have it. And now here we are, asking you to look at us for more truth. Young should not be limited to a small number or a potential reduced.
We are the youth leaders that make dreamers believers, so we don't need you to panic. We are the youngest in charge, and our current climate is so electric, shocking really, how much possibility there is within us. We see powerful people performing from persistence, and we've learned from what you've taught us, that you are never too young to make a difference.
Your actions have empowered us to become the people of today. So what are we going to do for the generation coming up to create positive change?
Amazing. Thank you so much. Again, it always feels like the amazing thing with COVID is that we reach so many, but at the same time, we can't feel the energy in the room, which I hope you're all clapping in your rooms. We will take questions now. So there's a couple I'm going to kick off with from the chat, and then please keep them coming. I'm going to do my best. This is where my chairing skills are going to be put to test. There's one around, the top tips were really great, guys. So well done for putting that document together, and we will share that to you all. But there was one around how do you make sure the projects are diverse and inclusive? Does anyone want to come in with some top tips about how you can do that well?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I think to make sure it's inclusive and diverse, I think you first need to recognise any barriers people from underrepresented groups may face. So say if it's financial barriers and it's people from low socioeconomic groups, one way to make sure that you're attracting these sort of peoples could be saying that you'll pay for their bus fare, or saying that they're able to get a bursary to do this, or say if it's from say the BAME community, have you got role models within your company that look like them, so it'll encourage them to go there. It's just all about understanding what is the barrier and trying to fix that. Sometimes it can be really, really simple solutions, just giving them a call beforehand, like, we really want to see you, and encourage them to get there. Or if it's a physical attribute, making sure you can provide that, because it can be quite inexpensive. And I think the reward from that is both yourselves, an inclusive and diverse environment. It'll help the workplace, different ideas, but also for that young person, they may not have many opportunities, and they'll be a lot more likely to support your organisation if, oh, they did that for me, like they paid for my bus fare, like I'm gonna come here every week, like I do want to do my best. So yeah, I think it's quite good for everyone. So that's what I'd say on that question.
Brilliant answer. Another question is, you clearly have a great platform to encourage different organisations to embrace participation and co-production. How will you take your message to young people and help them find their platforms? It's a bit of a tricky one. I don't know whether anyone wants to master that one.
Can you repeat the question, Jo? Sorry.
Yeah, it is. So basically, you've been given a platform through YPIL. How could you encourage other young people that maybe aren't involved at the moment to create their own platforms, or I suppose find those platforms? Yeah, Lauren, sorry, yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah, so I think that's a great question. And I think the great thing about Youth Voice is that it does inspire other people, and it is sort of like a ripple effect. Personally, I've setting up my social enterprise is all about giving people a platform to have a voice through kind of designing artwork and different creative things like that. So I think it's a ripple effect. I think it's kind of one person can make a change, and then that person can make a change, and then it kind of goes outwards. I think there's definitely a long way to go with a lot of organisations, but I really hope events like this can be the start of empowering people.
Can I add to that?
Please do.
I agree a lot with what Lauren has said. I think in my own personal experience, what's led me down this path was two things. Number one, having a role model, so an adult that was in, the Wildlife Trust that did believe in me and kind of pushed me towards these kinds of opportunities, but also seeing other young people go from participants and enter things like the Youth Council and go into other things like Our Bright Future and talk at lobbies and things like that, or become Youth MP, really inspired me and made me want to make a difference and use my voice to do things that they were doing. So I think that for us, it's kind of using our platform to do such a good job that we lead by example, and other young people are then inspired by what we do and want to do what we do, basically.
Brilliant. Great answers. Thank you. Another one is, I'd like to ask what young people... Oh, sorry, I got a bit of feedback there. Another question is, I'd like to ask what young people in Lead would say are the critical factors in the initial stages of young people forming as an expert panel. So what we did, I suppose, at the beginning, what was critical?
I think one thing is understanding what everybody wants to get out of it and what their skills are and their previous experiences. I think that was very critical for us because it helped us understand what roles people would take in future projects, what experience and knowledge they already had. And I think it's quite the same with any team that's meeting together, especially in these times where we've had to move online. So just understanding each other to the best of our abilities and trying to work together and to get to the same aim.
And kind of linked to this, and I think you covered this in your top tips. Some of these you did, but it might be nice to expand on it if you can. What motivates and keeps young people involved, and what makes the process meaningful?
I know that there's, sorry, I don't know if anyone else wanted to talk. I know that there's a few things that do motivate young people. I find one of the most long-lasting motivations is so I started with a much smaller charity, making changes in my local community, and seeing that those changes, that impact in my local community kind of was the first time that I realized that my little actions can change the world around me, and that is only built up to become into a much bigger platform that I have now. But it started from small, being able to realize that I can make lasting effects and lasting changes in my local community, fighting the problems that we have in our local community, no matter what age you are.
Can I just add? I think as well, it's just about knowing that you're listened to, that, your voice matters just as much as anyone else. And because, as it's been said, most times it's always we're just there for decoration. Like companies just want to say that they have a young person on their team. We're not there for anything else really. So just knowing that, our voices will eventually, they will lead to something big and make a big difference is, I think, just good enough.
I'm going to add to that as well. Giving the young person a purpose as well, it can, in that itself, is an incentive, like giving them a reason to continue, helps them a lot.
Lovely. Ash, did you? No, you're not. Are you saying anything? No. Okay, we've just had another one come through. So there's a few of you here today from the Youth Employment Support Project, and we work with NEET young people to help them grow and thrive. All of you are exceptional young individuals, and we'd love if some of you could attend one of the sessions. Would you be interested in this? And you've got another offer of interview. That's brilliant. Not quite questions. Are there any? But I'm sure, would you guys like to be involved with other things that you're being offered in the chat? Awesome. So that's a big yay. Are there any more questions? I noticed there's some great stuff coming in. There's some pledges coming in, which is brilliant. Oh, hang on, sorry, there's another one here. Could any of you speakers tell us, oh gosh, what's been, sorry, my computer's completely overheated. It's Peter. If anyone
do you want me to read it out?
Sorry, Karen, I can't read it. It's frozen.
It's okay. Could any of the young speakers tell us what's been hardest about getting this group to work well, and what's next for the group? I think we've been really lucky. We've really been really lucky. Literally, everyone apart from Rahina, but we're gonna fix that soon. But we all met in Birmingham in January for the first time, and we all instantly clicked, and we all realised that we were the same type of, like, in every kind of charity or organisation that you go into, there's always that one young leader or quite a few young leaders that are working really hard, and they're just kind of like full of ideas and full of like energy and inspiration. And that's kind of, we realised that we were all that person when we got there in Birmingham, and it was really, really great because we got to work very, very quickly and very efficiently. So luckily, that I don't think there's anything really that's been hard about working together. I think the only thing that's been hard is obviously COVID made it hard for everyone, but we've worked around that. I think we've worked around that pretty well. I don't know if anyone wants to take the second half of the question. What's next for us?
Go on, Kim. You've got some. And Rahina, go on. You had your hand up.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Oh, it's quite low. Sorry. I love your face too. We want to see it.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
I think my laptop's also overheating. But I think what's next for the group is an individual focus and a focus on every individual. I think we're working on goals and future ambitions with an organization called Beat Freaks, which we've been in collaboration with. And I think from this week onwards, we are working on our individual goals and how we can reach that, what our barriers are. So what's really nice about this is we're not just working as a group, but there is individual focus on how to professionally and personally develop as well, which has actually been really, really enjoyable.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rahina. You're all from different parts of the country and passionate about different issues. How have you balanced having a shared vision with a focus? Which actually you've just started to answer there with your individual. I don't know whether anyone wants to just touch on some of your events that you've got coming up.
I think for that question, we all do have individual passions, but I think the main passion is youth voice for all of the different groups. So I'm passionate about supporting people with disabilities to have a voice. Lauren is passionate about supporting people with mental health to have a voice. Like, it's all about youth voice and allowing their voices to be heard. I think it's because we've made the focus just on all young people, and we do have that many different focuses, that we've been able to just have the focus on young people instead of the individual passions, and we're still getting where we want to be from that.
Can I also add to that? Sorry, I know you guys can't see, so it's a little bit difficult when I put my hands up. But I'm also going to add to what Kim said is all the matters kind of intertwine, which we all really work well together because we all have our own ambitions and passions. And like Kim said, it all comes under the umbrella term of youth voice and how powerful it is. And I think even if one of us are quite not so aware of some of the issues, the person that is quite passionate about it is quite happy to educate us or tell us or share their knowledge on what it is that they're specifically passionate about, which has been really, really nice for us as well, to be fair.
Amazing. I hope we've answered most of the questions. I don't know whether anyone wants a last statement, because we're coming up rapidly to 1, which is incredible that we've managed to fit it all in. Just before, so maybe what if you have a think about how you'd like to end? But just a virtual clap from everyone. We can stay on. I've just been informed that some of you may want to stay on past 1, so that's absolutely fine. But yeah, is there anyone that wants to come on for one last statement? I know there was a quote that you'd put together as well.
The final statement?
Yeah. Thanks for bearing with us on this very hot day. Are there any more questions while we're just waiting for the final statement? And we will stay on because I've just realised that obviously we can stay on to 1:15 if you guys are wanting to ask any more questions participant wise. We'll do the final statement, but then we're staying on, so don't worry. Yeah, go for it, Javiva. Okay,
so we just had a little final statement. We did have a video for you guys, but trust me, the video is coming soon. It will be worth the wait. The final statement was, the absence of our voices makes no sense. Our voice is our power, and we don't mean to cause offence. Our voice is our power. We are tomorrow's leaders, and this is our hour.
Thank you, everyone. So proud. So proud. Please put, if you're still around, please put in the chat and we can ask more questions. I was just conscious to finish it there if people were needing on the hour.
Joel?
Yeah.
I think James has asked the question a few times around payment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rewards.
Yeah.
Is there a rewards one? Yes, go for it.
He says food was include payment as well as recognition and celebration. And for me personally, I think acknowledging, recognition, celebration was all it such you actually probably don't realize how much it actually pushes young people to actually attend and give their honest opinions about things. It doesn't always have to be money. Sometimes vouchers work as well. And you, for a shocker, food actually works, guys. If you have food around the table, young people will be there. So it doesn't always have to be any sort of money or vouchers. Sometimes recognition or a certificate or something, some sort of celebration actually works just as well. So yeah.
Can I just add to that as well? I second what Rahina says, and it is true that there's other ways to reward young people. But one thing I would add is, if payment's not involved, it does reduce the amount of people that can take up the opportunity, and sometimes it can like worsen the gap between people from lower socio-economic groups and higher, because they might have to work and that means that they can't go there without being paid. So if it is possible within the budget, it is sometimes nice to give young people that opportunity, and even if it is like minimum pay or just like a reward or something, it is something that I think you should try and do. Just it will increase the amount of applicants that can take on the opportunity.
Can I, really quickly, just to add, I think because this is something that they did in my place, they weren't able to pay the participants, but they were able to offer training and development and kind of like job opportunities. So that was really, really good. And then for a lot of people, a lot of participants on the My Place projects, a lot of them were unemployed. So because they were volunteering, that kind of aided them when it came to, so a lot of them were on benefits and things like that. So it kind of aided them when it came to that because it classed as work. And then My Place was able to act as a reference. So they gave them training, they gave them opportunities, and they gave them development for kind of their future goals.
Brilliant. Any more questions? I'm really sorry, my computer is completely given up now. Is there anything different we should? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're a project who will be working with 5 to 14-year-olds and wish to know if there's anything different we should be doing when we are working with a lot younger people. So yeah, for younger teenagers, I suppose.
Can I step in here? At Skyway, we work with a group of kids that are 8 to 14 years old. And I think what works quite well with them is building a journey, like working with young people individually, but as a group too, and maybe figuring out an individual journey for the young person. It's always nice to understand where they start and where they're trying to go. So always, I'm not quite sure about the 5 to 8-year-olds. They're quite young, but with possibly the 8, 10 to 14-year-olds, it's a little bit easier to see where they are and where they'd like to get to, and let young people lead that conversation, and try not to like have leading questions where you're kind of pushing them in a direction. Be quite free flowing, so it allows young people to take the conversation where they'd like to take it.
Excellent advice. If there's any more in there, please shout out.
I'll add to that as well. Depending on the project and what you want to get out of the young people as well. Like an outdoor pursuits or a team building stuff gets other ideas out as well. It fetches them out of the comfort zone and builds their confidence as well. So possibly doing something that takes them out of the comfort zone gets you to know them young people and get them to speak up a little bit more as well.
I think somebody else has just asked a question. I've just lost it. It was about collaborating with each other successfully during lockdown, I think.
Did I read out the question? So can I ask a really practical question? How are you successfully collaborating with each other at the moment in lockdown? Any tips on any hints or tips?
So we are currently having weekly Teams meetings. So each week we're getting together with our ideas, putting plans together for what we're wanting to do, such as this event, and then we've all taken different parts each. We've gone off, we've created things, we've created the Mentimeters and presentations, and then during the weekly meetings we've been coming back and practicing and speaking to each other, but also we have a WhatsApp group which has been really useful. So we've been communicating through there like constantly. If we need anything, somebody's always there to answer. If we want to have a quick meeting, then we'll put it on there, and it's worked really well to have everybody in that one place all the time. Even if people can't make the meetings, we've been putting in what's happened, what the feedback from the meeting going forward, actions, and yeah, that's how it's been working, and it has been working really well.
And I think, sorry, I'm just going to add to that. I think the other thing is there's also no pressure whatsoever, which is the really nice thing. Like, you're not forced to be part of a meeting that you can't make. You never felt it doesn't. You don't feel like you're losing out or missing out on information because everyone else fills each other in. And the really nice thing about Jo is she always brings us if we miss a meeting, so she's always filling us in, checking up on us. So I think that worked really well. I think if it wasn't, the silver lining in COVID is we get to meet more regularly. Like, as hard as it's been, it's actually worked out to be really well for us.
And I'm just going to come in there because I have to say that these guys have been my absolute ray of sunshine through lockdown and COVID, and hopefully you can all see why. I feel very privileged that I've got to meet you every week, and it's allowed us to plan incredible sessions like this to reach even more people. So yeah, they've definitely been my light throughout all this craziness.
Can I quickly say a massive thank you to everyone that's joined and made this happen and actually given us a space to talk about what actually matters most to us, which is youth voice. Without them, there wouldn't have been a meeting. So thank you, everyone. And most importantly, thank you, Jo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for everyone still on the call. Hopefully you got a few of the last nuggets of wisdom from these incredible guys, but watch us as they develop. They've got a website page. Follow us on the Twitter with @YPILDoneIt hashtag, and on the National Lottery Community Fund. Thank you, everyone. That was your Youth Voice session from our amazing Young People in the Lead team for 2020.
Yay!
Well done, guys.
Oh, sorry, you have a question.
Oh,
Well done, everyone. That was amazing.
My computer is completely representing me. I'm feeling very hot. It's completely frozen, so I can't do anything.
Oh, bless you. I was like really quickly trying to get the video up, but
I think my laptop is overheating as well.
I don't know if it's Teams because my screen's just gone real green and fuzzy.
Oh,
Yeah.